Crisis, unimaginable wealth, and the ultimate test of human character. We're traveling back in time to explore this truly incredible moment from Islamic history, the story of Uthman and the 1,000 Camels of Mercy.
So, picture this. The dust of ancient Medina is feeling heavier than ever before. Under the leadership of Umar, a literally suffocating famine has completely gripped the city. The market's totally barren. And this wasn't just, a bad economic quarter or a slight downturn. We are talking about an absolute matter of life and death. Children were crying themselves to sleep, and the once vibrant streets were just filled with the hollow eyes of starvation. Every single sunset brought deeper despair. They were quite literally running out of time.
But then, out of nowhere, a faint whisper from the desert turns into this massive roar of hope. 1,000 camels, slow moving, heavy laden, just marching in from Sham, right over the horizon. I mean, in a desperate, starving desert city, a caravan of this sheer magnitude was an absolute game changer. It was a literal lifesaver.
So, what exactly were they carrying? Well, they were loaded to the brim with overflowing sacks of wheat, food grains, and all sorts of vital supplies. This wasn't just cargo, right? This represented a second chance at life for a starving population. And honestly, the absolute craziest part of the whole thing, this entire, enormous shipment belonged to just one man, Uthman. The power to save the entire city rested completely in his hands.
Now, you might expect the wealthy elite of the city to look at this caravan and feel, a sense of empathy for their neighbors, right? Yeah, not exactly. Instead, they saw a massive financial opportunity. They rushed straight to Uthman to monopolize the shipment. They wanted exclusive control of this life-saving food so they could dictate the terms and completely jack up the prices. Their eyes weren't fixed on saving lives at all. They were fiercely, obsessively fixed on profit. So these merchants approach Uthman super eager to buy the whole lot, and they spark this frantic bidding war. First, they offer a standard 5% profit above his cost. Uthman calmly replies, "I have been offered much more than that." Confused, they bump it up to 10%. "Still, I have a better offer," he counters. So they push it to their absolute maximum of 15% profit. The greed here is just palpable. Think about it. They are literally calculating their own wealth while families are starving just down the street. Frustrated, incredibly arrogant, and desperate to outbid a rival they can't even see, the merchants hit their absolute limit. They plead with him. "Uthman, there are no other merchants in Medina who can outbid us. Who could possibly offer you more than we can?" They genuinely believed that in the worldly market of Medina, they were the top buyers. They literally couldn't fathom a currency higher than their own pockets. And this right here is where we see the intense contrast between the merchant's greed and Uthman's profound empathy. It's the ultimate clash of mindsets. On one side, you have the merchants representing the absolute peak of greed, a scarcity mindset hyper-focused on squeezing a 15% worldly profit out of a completely desperate population. But Uthman, he's operating on a whole different level. While the merchants are looking down at their ledgers, Uthman is looking out at the crowds of starving families. He looks at the traders and says, "I know of one who rewards a profit of more than 700 dirhams for every single dirham spent." The merchants immediately fall silent as he references these timeless words from the Noble Quran. It describes a single grain of corn that grows 7 ears, and each ear has 100 grains. It's a breathtaking multiplier, isn't it? Uthman completely shifts his gaze away from these calculating traders. His ultimate offer wasn't from anyone in Medina. It was a divine promise of exponential reward for spending your wealth to actually help others. Turning his back completely on the wealthy elite and facing the starving people, Uthman shouts these exact words. He says, "O traders, bear witness with me. I donate this entire caravan to the poor and needy people of Medina." Just let that sink in for a second. All 1,000 camels, everything they carried, he just gave it all away for free. In a single, unbelievable moment, a city's suffocating despair was instantly transformed into tears of overwhelming joy. It really makes you think, doesn't it? Ultimately, whatever we desperately hold on to for ourselves will eventually fade away. But whatever we give away to uplift others, that becomes ours forever. This intense contrast between the merchant's cold, calculating greed and Uthman's boundless empathy forces us to really look in the mirror. So, what are you desperately holding on to right now? And what could you give away today that might change someone else's world forever? Think about that. Thank you so much for